Oh, I love that. What an intro, Lynda. What an intro.
Feels so professional. Oh my Lord.
I'm so glad you could hear it.
Yes.
Yay.
That was so cool. I love it.
Did you catch the all the little things in there? It's like the doorbell and then the rooster and the Morse code and all of that.
Yes, the doorbell. I was kind of chuckling. It reminded me of the Roseanne show.
Oh my gosh. That's right.
That's
right.
So funny. Welcome everybody. This is a special, very, very special live broadcast of Soul Sisters. And I'm going to say it's not really Soul Sisters Speak. If that's me and Sherri, that's your show on your channel, but this is a Soul Sisters Speak. Yeah, we're speaking. And we have Bev on here, Bev Morrison, as a special guest for a very major astrological live episode. And this is going to blow you guys away because everybody's been asking. I don't know about you two, and I'll check in with you guys before we really get rolling. Everybody has been having a week from I don't know where because everyone's saying, what the hell's going on? What is this energy all about? What's happening? There's people, crossing over. There's people dying. Yes. There's all kinds of things like attacks. There's like energy vortexing. There's, just all kinds of stuff. And people are asking and they're even saying, are you feeling this? Are you getting it? Yeah, I'm feeling it too.
Yes.
Right there with you guys. So what are you feeling? What's your week been like? And what the hell's going on with these energies? Like,
Sherri, would you like to say something about what you've been experiencing too?
Yes. You mean the energy stuff I was talking to you about?
Yes.
Like the updates? Yeah. So what I'm finding is that, again, it's like this underlying current, and I keep saying it, but it's like 2021 is still here. 2022 is like late to the party. You know what I mean?
Yes.
What's going underneath, right? And so one day, 2022 is going to pop up. I feel like it's going to be, and we've talked about this, and you can explain all this, Bev, because I don't know, the end of March for some reason, but it's also like all of these things coming back around. Memories, experiences, all these things that are showing up. And it's like, we have to be really careful and discerning about why are we hanging on to these things? Like, are these things that we want to bring with us, or are we going to take them and just let it go and be like really okay with just like completely surrendering and letting go? That's what I'm receiving.
Pew, okay. Pew, 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 pew.
Yeah. You guys are spot on with all of this. Actually, we're in the middle of a Leo full moon right now, and there are so many aspects that are involved in this. As far as the Leo full moon, we also have the Venus and the Mars conjunction, and they're traveling together until March 16th. Okay. And they come together once a year for a conjunction. It usually lasts about 10 days. It's lasting a month this year. So that in and of itself is like a really amazing thing. And I find it interesting because with you, Sherri, doing the healing, the ancestral, the feminine and the masculine, that was spot on and right for what's going on right now.
Thank you. I was going to ask you about that because Venus and Mars, you always hear that book, like men are from Mars.
Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, it does represent those masculine, feminine energies. Is that correct? Or
yes, coming into balance, actually, because now they're on the same page. They're joining up together. And Venus has been in Capricorn since I think it was like the end of November. She went through a retrograde period, and then she came back direct, and her and Mars are joining up. So as far as the energies, Mars is a stronger energy. And it's kind of like they're on the same page, and Mars is stepping up and saying, hey, okay, I got this. I know you're tired from this journey. And Mars is more about taking the energy forward and leading you on to your next steps, your next connections, your next phase in the journey.
When you just said that, Bev, that just felt so comforting and soothing because it's almost like war, Mars, you get this thing. And now to hear that he's like, all right, I got you. It's like the way you want to visualize, say, your partner is securing you, comforting you, being there to say, I got this for you. You've done a good job and it's been hard work. So when you said that, I just got this entire wave that the collective is saying, yay, thanks, Mars. Come on. We want to love you. It's a love walk.
Definitely. Getting us both on the same page like that. I think that's where it's coming. I mean, it's on a collective level, because everybody knows what's going on in the world right now. But then it comes to an individual level too, which is interesting to me because the full moon where it's at right now, it's in Leo. So it's opposed by the sun directly in Aquarius. And Aquarius is about the collective and the overall energy. And Leo is more about the heart space and what's deep inside your heart. So that's where it comes into what you were talking about, Sherri, as far as we're coming to a pivotal point right now, because not only do we have the full moon going on, we have the Venus and Mars conjunction. We have the sun in Aquarius is also squaring those nodes of fate in Taurus and Scorpio. So it's destiny, it's fate, it's what's calling to you that's deep in your heart, but you have to look at what it takes to get there, what resonates in your life now, what no longer has a place, some tough decisions, some choice points, but it's all for our best and highest good. Because Pluto is also making a positive aspect there in the chart too to the nodes, and that's Pluto's in Capricorn, so that's more about the long-term goals, what's going to sustain us for long-term, looking at systems, people, all kinds of relationships, major relationship topics right now.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and that's interesting. You said the tough choice point going forward. Something I was thinking of, I don't know. I have been really experiencing that. Like, and you said this about destiny too, like that tough choice point has to do with almost like our mission. That's what it feels like our purpose, and it's like, what do we, and I don't want it to sound like sad or grief or anything like that, but that's kind of what has been experiencing, because it's like, if you know where you want your path to go in this spiritual path, there are things that have to fall away, that you have to let go of in order to fully step in. And it's like this, talking about this last night in the light language group, it was like, it's almost like this spiritual maturity that's coming forward.
Yes.
And not just emotional maturity, but like spiritual maturity, like stepping into, what does that really mean? A sense of responsibility. How responsible do we want to be to ourselves and to others? And that's are we able to hold that space? I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but that's what's been coming through for me too. Are we able to be responsible for this work that we are all kind of stepping into?
That's a lot of it. And it's bringing that masculine and feminine together in yourself too, so you can have that balance. Okay. And you can walk through and be an observer and have that detachment. And that's where Pluto's coming in with that trine to the north node, and it's helping make it easier for things to fall away. Where before, I mean, it's more painful and it's deeper things. Yeah. But if you let it flow and you let it move through you, you will find that freedom that you haven't found before. And you look back and say, but that was so simple. Just taking that step. Yeah, it may have been simple, but it took the work to do it. And a lot of people, it's hard to do the work. I know there's times that I've ran away from some things I needed to look at because I just wasn't ready.
Haven't we all? They say it's simple, but it's not easy to do. I just want to take a real quick minute and welcome everybody, Betty and Annie and Michelle and Jeanette and Sophie and anyone else who's joining us. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. We're doing a live event here. We're bringing Bev on, the astrologer. Bev, the astrologer. We'll call you a soulologer.
I was going to say intuitive
astrologer. Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. When you're talking about this, we were just talking about genders. We were talking about divine masculine, divine feminine. Sherri's been doing work with the divine feminine and then the divine masculine now. And this Saturday, you'll be doing another live event for the rest of the healing for the male lineages and the divine masculine. And it was so powerful last time, but it's almost like, okay, we got to wrap this up. We how much more healing can we possibly do? So when when you finalize this, and then Bev, you're coming in here talking about the pieces with the conjunction of Venus and Mars. That's huge, because we've always seen men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Like you said, Sherri, we've always seen them as opposites and at war with each other. And the fact that they're going to be walking together for a month, you said?
Yeah.
And it's for future. It's for establishing future. It's like, well, they're coming together as balanced, complete entities of themselves, complete and whole, so that they can establish systems moving ahead. And even if it means kicking and screaming to get there, right?
Exactly.
You were saying earlier? Yeah. What was that? That's the full moon in Leo, you're saying, right?
Yes, and the interesting thing about the full moon in Leo too. So you got all these elements involved. It's like putting a picture together where there's a picture within a picture within a picture. It's like taking that picture of yourself in the mirror and just seeing it. It's like all those
Infinity.
dimensions. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what's
Okay.
interesting too about it is also where this Leo full moon is at. We had, if you guys remember, in August of 2017, we had the Great American Eclipse that started up in Portland, and it came all the way down to, I think it was South Carolina, and it crossed the United States. This full moon is at that same point that eclipse was.
Ooh,
so think back to August of 2017 and where you were at, and look at how far we've come in just those few years. I mean, to me, it's like a huge abyss that I have jumped and made my way over. So it's been a hell of a time.
Yeah, it was a lifetime ago. It was a lifetime.
It feels like it. A lot of growth from.
Yes,
you're absolutely right, Bev. Like that's, what is that? 4 years of growth, 5 years of growth.
Yeah, that was
five.
I was gonna say that's like your whole time out in California, Sherri. That was since Edgemont, the Healthy for Life Wellness Center that was out there.
Yeah, I came out in 2016. I came out in June of 2016. So it was almost 2017.
Wow.
Yeah, all of that.
That's been a long time.
Wow. Yeah. That makes sense.
All right, Bev. Here it comes. Here comes the question. She's like, oh no, don't do it.
Be kind.
No, I was just going to say, what other aspects do you have going on there? Conjunctions, trines, like anything that really stood out to you that, it doesn't have to be, it can be personal for yourself or just things you're noticing that you're going through because you are part of the collective too, right?
Yes.
So what's jumping at you?
What's jumping at me is just kind of, I've had to take a step back from what's going on in the news, in the media. Almost you have to at this point, because again, we're working on it at a collective level, but with the full moon in Leo, we're going inside and we're having to, it's personal to each of us, but when we all put it together and come together, make the connections, it makes the whole of that tribe, and it brings all the energies together so we can start into the age of Aquarius. This is wrapping that up too. So Mars and Venus are also, they're going through Capricorn and they're going to enter into Aquarius at the same time. And that'll be about the middle of March. That's when they'll break apart then. Yeah. So it's ushering us into a whole new perspective on how the male energy and the feminine energy works together.
Wow. That's huge.
Yes.
That's huge. Wow. I know. It's like you can feel, even if we don't know a lot about astrology, like Sherri and I joke around about it, like we dabble, but not really. Yeah. We go to Bev. We want to know something, we go to Bev. We just ask Bev. She's in chat. Bev, is this, Thank you for
taking that deep dive. Taking that deep dive that sometimes I wonder, I'll get started and it's like I can't even go to sleep because I have that calling and things are being revealed to me. And there's something too. With all this going on right now, we're having that internal tension too. It's almost where we're being pulled in the directions of, do we follow our heart or our mind? And it's a risk taking, but it's taking a risk on really who we want to be and what kind of work we want to put out into the world. So now, again, ready or not, it's time. Step up to 100%. The plate and step up to the plate and let's go.
100%.
Full moon in Leo, right? That's those full moon in Leo energies?
Yes.
Like you coming on here tonight. We talked you into the live. Thank you for being here, Bev. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for asking me. I was a little nervous about coming live because I'm not a camera person, but
no, but your wisdom.
Used to it.
Yeah, it's your wisdom, it's your knowledge, you're intuitive. And
Bev.
Yeah. Yo, guys, give her a shout out in the comments. Let her know how much you love her. Go on.
She's doing awesome. Put it in the comments. Yes, please.
Yeah.
I can't see the comments, but because this is my first time, so I don't know what I'm doing. Okay.
Yeah, I'll read it for you. I'm not always great with comments, but I'll get better at it. And for you, I will read every single one that comes through. Don't worry.
Oh, thank you.
So Bev, what's the first? Well, that was kind of a deep dive there, but you were saying there's some deep dives, like the rabbit holes. Like what's your favorite rabbit hole to go down right now with these energies?
I'm looking into February 23rd. We have a Mars and Venus are going to be sextiling Neptune and Pisces, and then we're also going to have Neptune and hang on a second here. I lost my notes.
You keep looking in the meantime. I'll tell you. Oh,
Neptune and Jupiter is going to be conjunct in Pisces too, and that's going to be happening as Mars and Venus is going into Pisces also. So all this is coming up and ending up so we can go into the age of Aquarius. And the interesting thing about that Neptune in Pisces and then the Jupiter in Pisces, Jupiter expands. Jupiter takes everything and blows it up. And being in Pisces, there's this spiritual connection to that. So there's so much potential for the spiritual growth, but I believe it comes in joining and balancing, again, that masculine and feminine qualities within all of us.
Nice.
Wow. I'm feeling that inside too. I mean, that's huge.
Yes.
I mean, you're talking about like an awakening. Like I keep feeling like there's going to be a mass awakening again too. Like that could potentially fuel a mass awakening. Yes or no? Is that too much?
No, I believe it's a lot of it. I mean, more and more people are coming aware and awake, and some of the few little things I listened to today, I'm just shaking my head that it's come this far, and I guess we're all right where we need to be. You know, that's how I look at it. It's looking at it objectively or not, but I think so many things are coming out that you have to be deeply, deeply asleep and not want to come out of it, which some people are not going to be able to. Yeah. Some people, their dogma and belief systems are so strong that they're not able to handle it. And I think that's why we're getting a lot of people exiting right now, Lynda.
Yeah, I really think too that we've been told many times a lot of people can't handle it, but we assumed from our limited perspective, we assumed that they weren't going to be able to handle what the truth was, or what a specific thing going on the planet, what we and who we are and that kind of stuff, and what's been going on behind the scenes. Maybe that's not what they can't handle. Maybe it's just the intensity of the energies, period.
I think it's a mixture. I think it's a mixture of the energies, period, and I don't know, it depends on where we're at in our soul's evolution. I mean, we've come many times to do these lessons and we've been different places, but there are some times when your growth has come to the furthest point it can, and the energies coming in at the higher frequencies, I think, is really taking some people over the edge. And that's what I didn't want to say, because I hate to see that. I mean, we've all been there at one point, you know, we've all had bad times and we've just said, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the make or break at this point. And that's why I think it's about taking those risks, opening your heart.
Some people might have contracted to exit at this point as well. I don't know, you know, because it was so much and they didn't want those lessons so deeply. I don't know. That's just kind of coming through too.
Yeah, we can speculate about that all we want to, but I want to interrupt for just a minute here because Annie's saying, Bev, you rock. I can put the little comments up on the screen, but when I put the bigger ones, it crosses out your head. So I don't want to do that. So I took them off quick. I'm going to read them for you. Bev, you rock from Interstellar Media. That's Annie. And then Sophie says, wow, it's so amazing to see how what I'm feeling is reflected within the planets. I don't know much about astrology. And she also said, Sophie said, thank you so much, Bev, with kisses. And then Betty says, you're doing amazing. Thank you for being on here and sharing your knowledge with us. So appreciated. So that's a little, you know, just
thank you all so much
right there. It's always good to get feedback. And I'll tell you too, just real quick, this week was a week where I was going to come on. I was going to go on live last night. I was going to just pop on and be like, hey guys, my pot's been stirred. Like it's been a week, and sometimes you just feel it. You feel it intensely. And yes, we're coming to a full moon, so the dream should start intensifying too. Is that today, by the way? The full moon today?
Yeah, it was at 11. I think it was 11:48 or 59 Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah,
no wonder. But yeah, my pot has been stirred this week. I said that's all I can say to Sherri. It's the only way I can put it.
Yeah,
it's been stirred. We're feeling it. It's like this collective stew of shit. Sorry.
Pretty much being on that poop loop. And that's the thing about it. It's those last things, you know. I know those of us that I've talked to and stuff have put in some hard work, some hard lessons. And it's those last levels that you didn't think that was still bothering you and it's coming back around. And it's like either get it this time or get hit upside the head with a 2x4. I mean, it's evolution. You've got to change. And again, ready or not, here we go.
And we want so badly to hang on, we want so badly to like hold it tight. But I really feel like the energies too are just telling us, like you said, if you don't let go, if you don't learn to start to surrender and let go, you're going to get kicked in the the backside. Like,
you could say ass, it's okay.
You're going to get kicked in the ass, right? Like to let go. So it's just what you said. I agree, Bev.
It reminds me of a experience I had with water skiing. Okay, I was about 14 or 15. I thought I was going to be all great going out there. So I grab a hold of the rope. It pulls me up. I'm up for 2 seconds and I fall. But who doesn't let go of the rope? So it's dragging me face first. And that kind of feels like this energy.
Yes. Exactly. That's exactly it. Yep.
And you're trying to stay above water and still breathe. And you're thinking, if I would just let go, you think about it later. Why did I put myself through that? Because all I had to do was let go of the darn rope.
Yes.
Yep. That's right. That's a great analogy.
It's like you let go of the rope and you actually have a life vest on so you can kind of relax because you're not going to drown anymore. Jeanette said she is super excited. She says, I'm so excited for my personal reading with Bev. The universe is bringing us together on 2022 at 2 p.m.
What?
Yes, it was funny.
I know I will get more insights into myself and my divine blueprint. So excited.
Oh,
yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Yes, I am.
That's awesome. That's a perfect time to set it up at 2:00.
Yeah.
When I realized, I said, Tuesday or Thursday, I threw it out there and she said Tuesday, and you're not going to believe this, Bev. It's 2:22. And I started laughing and she's like 2 p.m. I'm like, sure, let's do it. So it was pretty cool. That's going to be another thing. And that also I was going to mention before I forget, the Pisces, we're going to have the Pisces new moon yet. And then early March, we're going to have what is called a Pisces portal. And this is listening to Molly McCord. That's when we have the Jupiter conjunct Neptune in Pisces. And that's going to be
like good, right?
It's going to be the good, but it's the work has to be done up at that point. And that's when you're going to start seeing the connections, things coming out of the blue. It's going to put you more on your, that is on.
I'll get that down.
I'm thinking that's March something.
It is, and it's
20? No.
If I could read my own writing, it would be great.
Sherri and I were just talking about that last night. We just showed each other our notebooks. We're like, look at this. And I'm like, that's what my notebook looks like.
You know what? Forgive me, but I cannot find where I wrote that date. But it's going to be like the beginning of March, and it's going to last. The energy is going to last through March and April as well. So a lot of spiritual things.
Sherri, it's no wonder that we don't we're getting mixed signals about traveling and when to go and all of this. We got so much coming in. And, I mean, not knowing whether it's supported or not supported, it's like, really, where do you need to be? Where do you feel you need to be? Like, I'm trying to make plans and I can't make plans. Like, everything is just so wishy-washy, and it keeps getting, when I say kick the can, it keeps getting kicked. The can keeps getting kicked down the street a little further. Kind of getting tired of kick the can, but also, you know what? I've also have a strange piece about, like Sherri and I were saying earlier, with all this pot stirring and all this stuff that's been going on, we both have this feeling of like at peace with it. Like it's happening. We're here. We must have agreed to it. Like since we've had time to bring that perspective in. Like I was saying earlier, Sherri asked this all important question. I said, I was going to ask you this tonight. My perspective on destiny versus free will, like things are written in your chart, right? And you can tell us whether or not, like something's written in your chart, it's in your chart. Like that would be considered destiny. It's in your chart. You can't avoid it. Can you change it? Well, I said, I think you can overcome things. You have free will, but you have to overcome a certain thing, but there's destiny points. How you get to each point,
choice points
is your choice points. Like I call them destiny points, but when you get there, how do you get to the next one? You can take a straight line if you want, but like free will, there's no free will. I mean, the flow would want to take you in a straight line. That's divine flow, but that's sacred geometry too. It's a connecting point. But your free will might say, I want to go over to the right a little bit. Maybe I'll snake around here. Maybe I'll go here. Maybe I'll go up this mountain again. Yeah. So free will. What do you think about that as far as charts though? Can you change what's in a chart or do you overcome what's in your chart?
really it's overcoming what's in your chart. It's looking at the different placements, the different aspects, the different energies, and it's actually a lot of intuitive and learning your chart and knowing what the different aspects are. So the more you know about your chart and the more you empower yourself with astrology, which is what I would like to do. I want to get some classes going and stuff to teach people how to look at their chart, because it is so important. Because yes, Lynda, you can take those little side routes or whatever, but eventually you're still going to come back to that point, and you could look back and say, oh man, if I'd only just done this, I put myself through all this extra. And that's where we're at right now with the coming together of the masculine and the feminine too. You're looking at, do I follow my head? Do I follow my heart? And it's more of a heart opening, a heart expanding, the higher heart is what I'm feeling it as.
Can I ask, Bev, with that choice point and choosing between, like you said, the heart and the head, are the energies going to be supporting going forward as far as you can know? And I know you may not have looked at this as well, so I don't want to put you on the spot. I'm just wondering, are the energies going forward going to support those heart choices?
Yes. That's where we have that Neptune conjunction in Pisces, and that's going to go ahead and give us the support. And we also got Pluto trining the North Node right now, which that's also a positive aspect. So Pluto, even the taskmaster in Capricorn, who's making things right, looking at, okay, is this what you really want? Reevaluate your systems. What are you taking forward? But we're supported in it this time. It's making it easier for us, because Lord knows we need some ease after all the stuff that's gone on in the last couple of years, at least.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So it's bringing ease and flow to it, I think. At least that's what I'm feeling from what I'm getting.
Yeah, well, Bev, we've got Jillian saying thank you for these precious reminders at a time when it's most appreciated. Blessings and love to you, Bev. And
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jillian.
It's an honor to come on and do this.
We have a live question from Sophie. She wants to know, she's been interested to know about her chart, but she doesn't have her time of birth. There's no way to know. How much detail would affect your chart? That's a great question.
Very good question.
So if you don't have the time, how
if you don't have the time, normally what they do is they go with noon that day, 12 noon.
Okay.
And the only thing that it really will affect, there's a couple planets, like the sun and the moon move a degree or two every day. So those faster moving planets, it might throw an aspect off, but you can pretty well pinpoint it by when you start talking to somebody and looking at themes and stuff. What you see in that chart, you can pretty much tell if that is on point or not. It may be just a little off, but you can still work with it.
And you can tell based on what house, if something's like right on that cusp or the edge of something, you can tell if it's maybe this or maybe that, right?
Right. You could go either way, and I could say, hey, wait a minute, look at this here. How do you feel, or what have you seen this show up of in your life? And that'll kind of narrow it down if there's that much of a difference. But it doesn't make a huge difference, I don't think.
That would be that intuitive piece that Bev is so good at too. Yes. She's so good with the intuitive piece that she's got the chart in front of you. You're giving her the information, and she can pull just from the energy, her frequency and your frequency, and intuit really which way it's going. I've experienced that. It's awesome. Yeah.
Definitely. And Sophie, I believe you also went to the Symposium as well. So you get Bev's special offering, which is $44 off your chart reading. So if you're not sure where that is, it's the same page where the Symposium 4 parts are. It's at the very bottom of it. It says special offers. Click on that link and you'll see how to get in touch with Bev directly. And if you haven't seen the Symposium yet or haven't made a donation to get access to it, it's really good.
Sign up,
it's awesome.
Keep promoting it, but like really 4 parts to this. There's 3 parts. We talk about 3 different subjects. It's done in 3 sections. And then the last one is activations, synchronizations. It's just clearings, healings, blessings. Every feedback that we've had so far is people have taken advice and waited till they had a good time to do it and lay down, because it's pretty darn powerful. It'll probably knock you out a little bit, or you might go out. So, but you have access to this, and then you get over $1,000 of special offers and freebies and content made just for you, and all of that discounts from everybody who was involved. Was 9 different people involved, and multiple discounts and offerings and all kinds of stuff. So actually, I probably should have put the banner up for that while I was talking about it, shouldn't I?
It was very powerful. Yeah, if you want to listen to the activations,
yeah.
make sure you've got time to rest for a while.
Yeah.
It knocked me out for about 14 hours.
I was just going to say, it's almost like a full day at least, if not longer, just to integrate everything because they're so powerful.
Yes. And with the energies coming in too, it's very supportive right now. And I think Lynda, it's such a blessing that you put that together, because right now we are having so many people waking up, and we need, I guess we're kind of like the trailblazers reaching out, because, you know, I was looking back at some of the books that I found. I finally got in my closet and found my spiritual books, my astrology books, because they've been buried for about 2 months now. And looking at some of the stuff that was written back in the 70s and 80s, if you talked about that back then, people would have had you locked up in the loony bins, you know? I mean, I question my own sanity at times, you know, because when you see the synchronicities and stuff, you shake your head and go, no, this can't be happening. But then it becomes the magical part, and you learn who you can talk to and who you can't, but it's becoming more accepted, especially astrology. Astrology used to have a bad rap, you know, a cult. Oh, it's a cult and all this. But you know what? Everything can be used for good or a bad, you know, a positive or a negative. You just have to find a way to take something, whatever speaks to you, and find your way to express it from that positive.
Right. That's right. I also wanted to mention too, Sherri's offering free mini sessions. So you want to get on there because she has limited availability. So once it's done as far as those special offerings go. So if you really want to get in on this, you know, and get a free session for 20 minutes is not a mini session. Like, you do a lot of work in 20 minutes. I'm sorry, but you're really, you're offering. And if you want to make, I'm just going to throw this out there. I know you never said anything about this, but I'm going to say this for anyone listening. If you've had a free session with Sherri, and you want to tip her or anything like that, please go to her YouTube channel. Under her videos, all of her information is there. There's PayPal donation links or buy you a coffee kind of links. And if you feel like she's helped you in some way, you know, make the energy exchange. And thank you for everybody that's already done that for all of us or any of us, anything that you've ordered. We really appreciate it. We try to do things like Sherri, your star maps that you offer. They're incredible. Like, I should play the ad while we're on here, but I didn't get the video up.
You know what? I was just going to say, Betty's on here. Betty, I'm working on yours right now. Yeah.
So so the offer,
I want to get in line for that, because I want one of those too. That's so amazing, Sherri.
Well, yes, you and I, yes, we'll talk.
We'll talk about that. Yes.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome. Yeah. So if you had, that's the little bit about the symposium. I don't want to keep going on and on and on about it, because we got this astrology stuff we got to talk about. There's still major things that are happening that you, like you said, it's a picture within a picture within a picture. And when you go down, it's almost like you're looking at it in the quantum. There's more things affecting, but it's like everything's kind of clicking in, you know, like when you see those little, what are they, decoders, and everything clicks into place like a lock that unlocks. It feels like that's what's been happening. And as the cycles are changing and everything's lining up, it's lining up so that it can be a perfect match, so that whatever can happen happens. Who knows what that is? Who even knows anymore? Right?
I'm smiling, Lynda. I'm smiling, Lynda, because I had an image earlier today, and you just described it. You know how they have those boxes where you have to like turn the codes and stuff to open them up? Yep. I could see like a whole line of those lined up. And that's kind of how your astrology chart is. That's kind of how the different dimensions are. You have to figure out each one. You take each one individually, and you have to open them all so you can take it all and make it into one. So I saw that earlier today. That's so funny you said that.
That's funny. Well, they throw images at me sometimes. I don't know where they come from all the time. I don't even question it anymore. I'm just like, oh, I got it. That's how I come up with the analogies. I get images.
Yes. I do too.
Yeah.
I love it.
Especially with the different looking at things on dimensions and timelines. And sometimes that kind of still doesn't quite compute with me, but I'm getting better at that. And looking at it on those different, it's like layers of energy where it's all been cut and sliced, and it's all coming back together to make a form of something new, something improved. And it's kind of what we're going through with humanity and the evolution.
Well, Bev, Sophie says, thank you. And Betty's asking is astrology chart the same as a natal chart?
Yes. Yes, I do the natal chart, and I work on 4 specific areas. I work with the north and south nodes of fate. I work with Chiron and whatever the Black Moon Lilith and what aspects those make in your chart. And I really feel the North and the South Node is very important. That's something. It's a whole kind of specialty in its own, and I found it very true, at least for me and the people that have done readings for it. Spot on.
Yeah, I remember you talking. I loved my reading, by the way. I can't speak highly enough about you and the reading that you did. You mentioned something about my North Node and something about it coming, I guess, the full. I don't really remember everything you said, to be honest with you, because it was a lot to take in. Like you nail so many things, and it's like almost overwhelming, because I should have sat there with a notebook and did it, because now I can look at the chart, but it's like, uh-oh. So yeah, if you're gonna get a session with Bev, take some notes or something, because it's packed. The North Node is about completing things, right? Or balancing it with the South Node.
The North Node is what you came here to do, and
right.
You're coming from the energy of your South Node and your previous experiences, and you're going to the opposite end of the spectrum in that other sign, which is directly across, and you're bringing in the polarity to bring it to the higher expression of that particular sign.
Wow.
Have you found in the charts, Bev, that there's always a lot of planets in each one, or is it sometimes there's one or two, or is there always like 3 or 4 in each one?
No, everybody's chart is so different. It's like when you were born, it's like, okay, we're all born, and say we're given a prescription set of glasses. Our chart is like a prescription set of glasses. It's how you view the world. And some people may have nothing on the bottom part of their chart. Some people may have it all up top. Some may have some here, there. It's like a fingerprint.
Okay.
No one is exactly the same. You may have, like, they'll have things on some of the astrology sites, see who shares this particular aspect, and they'll tell you what star, but nobody has an identical imprint of what your chart was when you were born. That's what makes it so fascinating.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Can you talk about and I want to say hello to Willow.
Hi, Willow. I was just gonna.
Hi, Willow.
Yeah. Can you talk about the Black Moon Lilith a little bit, like what that signifies and why that's important, or in the charts?
The Black Moon Lilith is like our shadow side. Okay. And I studied that under Laura Walker. She wrote a book on it, and people haven't taken. There's 2 different Liliths, and I like the way that she does it. There's 2 different points that people see it in your chart. But I just go with what feels right. But that's your core. That comes in with your core wound, and you could use that core wound and where your Chiron is at, the wounded healer in your chart, to heal those issues, because each sign comes in with different wounds. It depends on where that's at in your chart, but you can use that to help heal those core wound issues, and it will identify them too. Actually, people don't always realize, but when you look at somebody's chart, it's very personal. You see things, and I asked for the wisdom to be told what to say and what not to, and I just let it flow.
That's great.
Bev, what did you hold back on us?
I know, Bev.
What do you know?
My chart, and same with you, Lynda. We're probably like, holy shit.
I know. No, I want to know. No, all right. So now, Bev, we got to talk again anyway, because I want to know what you held back.
I know.
No, I really. It's what comes to me. But you can. I don't know. You can see pain in somebody's chart, and I'm learning.
Yeah.
That I'm feeling that when I see that deep pain, and you have to be able to balance yourself back and step back and look at it and be able to find a way to make it positive, that they can work with it in their chart, because they've had a painful road and some hard lessons.
All right. I got a question for you on that note then. So like when my son died, right? Would that be in the chart, or how would that show in the chart? Like death of a family, like somebody close or something. How would something like that manifest in a chart?
What I would look at in that is what your chart looked like and what his chart looked like on the day he passed, and what your chart looked like that day, and just see there's different aspects. A lot of time Jupiter is involved with the death. I know I went back and looked at the chart when my mother passed away, and it was all right there in the chart. Had I looked at it, sometimes I don't want to know. Even myself, I don't want to know.
You just answered another question then. So your chart obviously is not like, you don't just get one done and one and done. Like you can keep, like next week I can look at a chart and it can tell you something entirely different, right?
It just depends on where the planets are at that particular day, what the aspects are. You come in with the natal chart, which pretty much it maps out all the lessons and the things that you came in with the knowledge of and the things you came here to learn. So then you have your chart, it stays fluid in this one spot. All the planets going around interact with all your planets, your houses, and then that's where you start putting the puzzle together. If that makes sense.
I wish I could know. I wish I had more time right now to learn more about it. But it does make sense.
And that's why I want to empower people to learn to look at their own chart. Because if you keep on top of that, and I mean, you don't have to take the deep dive like me. You could learn the basics and kind of say, oh, wait a minute, this is here. This explains why maybe I'm feeling this way. Just to do it on a basic level. And then if somebody wants to take the deeper dive, hey, I'm willing to go there too, you know? But it's an ongoing process. It's ongoing energies, changing form and transitioning, evolving.
Thank you for that.
Wow.
That's awesome. That's actually really incredible.
It's amazing. I'll tell you, I've been doing this, like I said, for 5 years, and I kind of looked at things like you guys said, dabbled in it, and looked at it before in my younger years, but I still learn something new every day. And I talked to my sister too, who had done it years ago and got me kind of interested in it. And she said, yeah, Beth, that's one thing about astrology. You will never learn everything about it because it goes so deep and there's so many different variables.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to learn more when I have time to do it. It's fascinating. It's just,
and I want to get some classes up on just the basics too, because I want to empower people.
Sign me up.
Thank you.
Yep, you got 2 signups right here.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Exactly. Well, are there any other things that, like, deep dives or any major aspects that we need to know about, Bev, like going forward?
Yeah, like if you're gonna look at, like, you know what, since everybody's pots are stirred, Sherri, that's a great question, because since everything's been happening this week, okay, so what about like over the next week? If you're looking at the energies from what you looked at, like even today, if you looked at where the planets are, you know what conjunctions are coming up. What are you sensing, feeling, intuiting based on astrology? Like, what do we need to look out for as a collective, as a country, and as a species? You know?
What I'm picking up is we need to be able to detach. This is from the collective. We need to be able to detach. We need to drop away the judgments because everybody is right where they need to be. The more that we look at that stuff, it's causing the division. So whatever we can do to keep that division and that judgment out, that's where we're spiritually going to evolve and grow, and that's part of that Mars and Venus conjunction. So standing back, being the observer, not judging, which is way easier said than done. For sure. It's just really right now it's a time to go in and kind of listen to your heart. If you follow your heart, you'll never go wrong.
It's true. Yes. Wiser words.
Look at those painful words. Watch your words, watch communications. Think about something before you say it because words can never be taken back. I've learned that the hard way.
Yeah, me too. That's true.
Yep. That's great advice.
Thank you. Wow.
Yeah. You got any
I'm ready to.
I'm thinking.
Anybody in the audience who's watching, if you guys have any questions, it would be a good time to throw it in there now. Because, I mean, there's so much I want to talk about, and
I know, and there's so many things that I've been looking into too, because I believe numerology has something to do in this, because you have the degrees in the chart, and you can take that further too. So I've been going down a few rabbit holes here and there looking at that, because they have what's called the Sabian symbols, and each degree around the zodiac has a sentence it'll tell you something. Then you can take that, interpret it, and I kind of find it fun to look at where things are at and write out what each one of those are, and it kind of comes together and makes a picture. That's why I studied under Laura Walker, the Oracle Report. She really got me going with that, and the Black Moon Lilith. She put some amazing things together, and I learned that from her.
And I've heard the Sabian symbol from when Paul White, Gold Eagle, does his forecasts, and he reads from other people's things that they put out too. Like he does a really good job, and he's talked about. I don't know which one that he reads from that says the Sabian symbols. It could be Laura Walker for all I know, But yeah, she's the second one that I've seen. I've heard it from him, and then I've seen it from her report that you sent me. So thanks for introducing me to that, because that's a really good report. So Laura Walker's Oracle report. What's it called? The Oracle report?
oraclereport.com.
Yeah.
Yes. And you can
guys.
sign up free for a daily update. She usually does. She'll do recordings and stuff too. And she really put my foot on the path.
You sent a couple of things that were very timely with that, and it just blew me away. I was like reading it going, you couldn't have picked a better day to send this. Like spot on.
Yes.
Spot on.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And as you learn your chart a little more and stuff too, you can make those connections. I mean, you don't have to dive in and be a full-time astrologist. You can just kind of pick up on the basics and at least be able to stay on top of what's going on around you. And I think that's so important right now with all the shifts and changes.
Definitely.
So Betty wanted to let you know she sent you an email, so be on the lookout for it.
Great. I will check my email.
Yeah, she wants her chart done. I know it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice. Good. So you were talking about, I think the last time we all got together, about the Pluto return for the USA.
Yes.
Has anything shifted within that for these next couple weeks or going into March, or how is that going to, I forget what you said, how long that's going to stay?
That actually goes into like next year, and it's different planets are going to make aspects with it, but the actual Pluto return for the USA starts on February 20th. We're already feeling the energies, and I think that's where you're seeing the freedom convoys, stuff like that, people standing up, speaking out. I watched a really good interview the other day with Roseanne Barr, and she was interviewing JP is his name.
I saw that, JP Sears. I watched it too. Yes.
Really?
Okay, because I just love Roseanne.
Yeah.
Send it to me. I want to see it.
That was good.
It's really good because it's bringing out a lot of things that people are becoming aware of, and more people, I'm surprised, that are coming aware of and seeing what's going on. I don't think they expected the quarantine and the restrictions and all this to kind of blow up in their face, because everybody's getting in touch with who they are. And that's what this is about. People taking the power and the freedom back.
Was that on YouTube by any chance, you guys?
Yes, it was. And I can send you that link, Lynda.
It's Roseanne. She has her own podcast.
Yes.
So it's just like Roseanne
JP Sears. I got it right now. I got it. All right.
Yeah.
I was just going to get the link, and I was going to share it with everybody in here. That's awesome.
Yeah,
all right, got it.
You too.
Yeah, I got some more work to do, because I don't like to look out too far ahead, especially with the energies the way they've been. Right now, it's just coping, getting through the day. I've been feeling it hard too. I'll be doing something and feeling great, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, I need to go lay down and take a nap.
That happens. Yes. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Yes.
No, it's just out of nowhere.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Sorry.
There's been the CMEs too coming in. Not
the
necessarily.
flares.
Yeah, the flares are coming in. They've been hitting like constant. It's like they'll say they're coming, and then they'll hit, and then another round will come and it'll hit. So that, with the alignments that you're talking about, powerful stuff, like really powerful.
Very powerful. And it's like it's continually, it's not been stopping, and they say it's just going to keep increasing. And I'm thinking, man, can this whole body handle much more? I don't know. I'm feeling my age these days, it's like, in my mind I'm not old, but yeah, the body's saying, hey, it's time to take a break.
Yeah,
we must have known what we were in for, or we wouldn't have signed up for this wild ride. But Sophie says same. She's agreeing with us on this. Betty also says she'll take your class, and she wanted to know if you can tell by looking at the chart. She wants to know if any of these aspects or things can tell you when you would meet your soulmate. That's a great question.
That is a good question, because I'm not really sure how to answer that one. What I would do, I guess, is look at your chart and just see what the energies are. I would have to take the dive on that. A lot of that would be intuitively and just looking at the chart and the different, because we have different phases. Each set of years, there are different transits through our chart that we have. And Molly McCord has got something on her channel where she lays out the different years in your life and where you're at. There are certain, you'll have your Chiron return, you'll have your Saturn return, all that stuff. So kind of a lot of that just depends. I'd really have to look at the chart and possibly look at the other person's chart and just kind of see what the synergy is around that. I haven't got a lot into relationship charts. I've really mainly focused on the karmic and the core wound, Chiron, and the black moon. So it might be able to be done. I'm just not aware of exactly.
I know that was something that I was really grateful to you for, because I've had other readings. I just want to point that out for those of you who are considering Bev or who will have a reading with her, is that she really does nail the karmic piece of it, which just helped me feel so much better. I mean, I've had a lot of like energy work and like I said, I've been to other astrologers, but when she was explaining to me what that karmic stuff meant and like basically what my core lesson was, it was like, it just shifted so much in my life. Like, I'm so grateful for that. So I just want to put that out there to everyone, that it really does help you understand why you're here right now. Yeah.
The North Node, the South Node. Was that North Node and South Node, Sherri?
Well, for me, it was Chiron. Like, I had big aspects in Chiron in my galactic center, and a lot of squares in my chart, and a lot of squares, a shit ton of squares.
Yes.
That's what she said. I think those are your exact words. Wow.
Probably was a shitload of squares. Yes.
Wait. Yeah. Now I got to stop and ask then. So would those squares have been just at the time that you did the chart, or would that have been for the whole life?
This is her natal chart, which she came in with her whole life. Yeah, the more squares you come in with, the more lessons you come into. And usually, usually those of us who are doing this have quite a bit.
Yeah. So, but it was not. It's
validated.
We laugh about it, but yeah, it really validated a lot. Then I had done a lot of clearing around my karmic stuff, and so to see it in my chart was like, okay, time wasn't wasted. Not that it wouldn't be, but.
And I'm not crazy or I'm not cursed or whatever. It's just my chart.
Like, damn, so yeah, that was really helpful.
You were really hungry at that buffet before you hit this life.
So, no, because the other thing that Bev said to me, which I also am so grateful for her saying, was you, according to your chart, you're here to get it done. You're here to be done. And I had always known that, like, I'm not coming back, but it's basically in the chart, she was like, you're not coming back, you're here to get it done. And that really felt good. And it was just so comforting to me to be like, okay, I could just breathe. Things really shifted for me after I had that reading. Like, it was just like, okay, I understand now. Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
I'm so happy.
Vindication or validation or just appreciation for the fact that you do have it written in the stars, literally. It's been a hard life, and I just needed somebody to validate that and say, yeah, it's been a freaking hard life. You've been in the trenches. You're a warrior. You're a sacred warrior. You're not just a warrior. You're a sacred warrior, girl.
We all are.
Lady. I say girl is an expression, but
we all are. But I really want to give kudos to Bev, because, like I said, I've had other readings that were very, very specific and not as intuitive, nearly as intuitive. And there was it was hard for me to understand the language of it, because astrology is very involved, and I've said this before in other broadcasts, but I just want everyone to know, those who might be new to Bev, is that she's just kind, gentle, spot on, intuitive, and so appreciate you, Bev. I really do.
Thank you, Sherri.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you guys too for letting me come on here and talk. I mean, I know I've had the calling to do this, but you guys have kind of helped push me onto the stage. May I say?
Natural.
And thank you.
You're doing great. Oh my gosh. You're going to be having.
Sorry.
You're welcome, Sophie. You're welcome. Yes. You're going to be having your own channel real soon, Bev. I can feel it.
Working on the computer now. I've got some things done. I'm looking at getting a new one, because I'm going to need to do a few different things. Mine's a little old, but yeah, I'm ready to take off. It's time. I'm ready.
Yeah, I can feel it.
Yeah, and you have your website and everything. You're going to be probably doing lots of stuff with that, and a YouTube channel, or making classes or different things.
Definitely with some classes, readings.
If you need any help with anything or any tips or anything like that too, you can ask us. We're here for you.
Thank you, guys. I so appreciate it. Yeah, because I'm starting to run into some of those now, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm writing the link. They asked for the Oracle report link, so I am sending that right now.
If anyone has any other questions for Bev too, I don't know what.
Yeah.
Drop them in the comments, or
Yeah, whatever you got, let's hear it, because I'm running the banner across the bottom, and I guess I'm promoting the Symposium with this because I feel like if you really want a chart reading and everything too, if you're going to donate $22, you're going to get 44 off of her reading. So, you know what I mean? Like it kind of makes sense to do that if you want that. And if not, if you don't want the Symposium, you want to go directly to Bev, you can go. I think I put your email in here, and if I didn't, I'm just going to say it. It's mysoulssong@gmail.com. My soul song. Actually, I'm going to put it right. Yes. My soul's.
I love that name, Bev. That's
song. Song or songs?
Songs, Lynda. Plural.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. And that's at gmail.com. I'm putting this in here for you guys now. My soul's songs@gmail.com. There's that. And you got the Oracle report in there too. I'm putting everything in the chat for you guys. And I don't know how to get this. There it is. Hide that one. There we go. All right. Back to the comments. Does anybody have any questions? We've got a lot of naps. Betty said, yeah, naps for sure. Yes. Sophie did say, thanks for sharing your experience. Okay, we got the Oracle report. Anything else, you guys? What else you got going on? Sherri, Bev, how about you two? What do you got going on? You've been having, I know we said in the beginning, lots of stuff this week, right? Your pots are being stirred, lots of things. Are you, yeah, I don't want to bring it down. There's just so much heavy stuff that happened this week. It's crazy. And I've been hearing about lots of people dying this week. And it's been really like mind blowing to me that it's like all of a sudden now, all of a sudden, I've heard more in the last week than I've heard over the last year. And like, what? Like what's that? And people saying to other people, like, what the hell is going on? They're calling, but they're talking, they're calling each other saying, what's going on? What's going on? Like, it's almost like it's like an alarm that went off this weekend. Everybody, it's like an alarm clock just went off, and people are starting to question what the heck is going on. So I wish I had better answers,
Me too. And Lynda, I remember back in 2017, we had a lot of people leave in 2017 too. That's when my mom exited. Okay. And I hadn't seen that amount of people exiting since then until now. I mean, there was quite a bit there, with the other things going on. But yeah, it's been on a mass level here in this last week of people I've heard making the transition.
It's crazy. And I there's just this part of me that kind of can't handle that. And I don't want to say that. I don't want to speak that out because I know
it's hard.
People look to us sometimes to be the strong, positive, all of that. But when I say my pot got stirred, that's what it's all about. It's about, the potential mass exodus that we're looking at. We're already seeing, but I don't know. I don't want to say it. I'm not going to
hold the highest timeline, hold the highest timelines and the highest tensions and the highest frequencies as we can, and just focus on that, focus on manifesting and creating those highest timelines. And it's hard. It's so hard. It's so, because Lynda, you and I talked about it, where we have these, we have people in our lives that we love. And so we just have to keep holding vision.
And not wanting to be the person that has the answers, because the answers are not looking good. The things that we know, like the things that might be, we don't want to say, because it's not only giving it energy to it, but it's like, we don't really know. But what we're seeing is becoming more obvious, and it's more frightening if it keeps going that way. So if we're going to put the opposite of that, we're co-creators. We can have that time. Like, we can put all our energy in this, right? Yeah, we can do this. Okay. Can we? Like, how do we? And all right, so we're holding a timeline for what? For what? For the technologies to be released? That's out of our hands. Well, go, green light, go. We command it, like release the technology, release the healing, or release the antidotes, or whatever needs to be done. Green light, go. Everybody focus. Like, green light, go, command. I don't know what else to do, because it just seems like there are definitely things that are out of our hands, no matter how positive we visualize. And I'm still going to visualize positive. I'm not saying I'm jumping off ship or anything like that.
And it's all you can do. It's all you can do is try to keep in the positive and keep yourself, staying in the best state of mind and holding that light. That's really what it's about right now, is holding the light and passing it forward. That's why I guess I've had to detach from some of the things. But on a personal level, you can't detach when something hits close to home like that. It's hard. It's not easy at all. But just try to stay, because we've got the support right now from the universe on working through this stuff and making it a better place when it's all over.
Yeah, staying in that pillar of light, staying in your lane.
Yes.
It's really hard with all the noise around and the distractions, but sometimes it's okay. I don't want to say bury your head in the sand, but it's almost like you've got to bury your head in your own little light.
Yes, some days.
Pillar of light, because that's the only thing that's going to keep.
You saw me today. Today I videoed with Sherri, and she's like, "Of course you're at the park." Yep,
I'm the crap out of everything.
I don't care. That park, that state park, has had more visits from me in the last 6 months.
It's great.
That's why you find your go-to like that, and just keep doing it. That's me. I'll lay down and I'll listen to a meditation. If I get too overwhelmed or there's too much going on, I'll just take 5, go in the dark room, put my earbuds in, and just try to get things back in some kind of balance, because it's sure not easy right now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm wondering too, Bev, because Lynda and I were talking about this. This is why we hopped on video call today. There's just been stuff that's coming up for both of us around like abundance and and all this other kind of stuff. And I'm wondering, like, are these energies kind of testing us? Is that possible? Or do you think how, like, astrologically, like if we've got these things coming up, is this all like written in our charts, and this is the time that we're kind of having to sit with it more, sit deeply with it, or release, maybe let go of those patterns and things that are around that? Or what, how can you?
That's what you said. You said it exactly. It's being inside, sitting in those uncomfortable places, really looking at things, and taking a good hard look. Okay. We think we've dove into the depths of the abyss, but no, we've just barely scratched the surface. It's those last core issues that we have to visit for that last time, and it just keeps coming up right now. It's more about going within for the answers, because everything is so crazy outside. We can't control that, but we can control what we're doing on the inside, and the way we're looking at it and the perspective we're having.
And I had one of our tribers sent me a message today of encouragement, and was saying just to stay in that state, like that abundant state. Like the universe always takes care of me. I always get what I need as I need it. And it's hard to stay in that state when you're using your left brain logic.
Yes.
It's almost impossible to be in that state of, I'm always taken care of. Yeah. My God, I made it across the country and out for almost 4 months and back. And I was in that flow the whole time. I was in the flow, granted, I had sold a lot of stuff and I had some cash with me. So, it wasn't like, oh, where's the money going to come from? You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't.
Even today, Lynda, like you and I were, even though those things came up, we were able to hold them.
Yeah.
Just like you were able to trust when you came out there.
Yes.
There, so.
Yes. And when you messaged me and I, they say, of course she's at the park. And I said, and look at this. And I turned my phone around and I had an incense stick that I found in my tool bag in my trunk. I was tailgating and I was just sitting in the sun. It was a little chilly, but it felt great. And I looked in my toolbox, like, what do I have in my toolbox? And I pulled out an incense stick for abundance. I was like, wow. Perfect. So I had just lit that when Sherri called. I was like, look, I'm not going to believe that.
We burned it away.
It took a while. It took a long time to burn. And I almost left before it was done. But something told me, nope, stay till it's all done. And I did.
Nice.
But
you know
also,
what?
My intention was for everybody to be abundant, because a lot of times when we're in our suffering or we're in our pain or we're alone, I need to be abundant. I, me, right? And when I was doing this, I'm like, nah, I can't do that this time, because we're all going together as Willow says, into the unknown together.
Yes.
So yeah, I had to just burn this for the collective, for everybody, for a whole species, for the planet. Just everybody deserves to be abundant. And I'm not just talking about finances. I'm talking about all of it.
Comfort, safety, security. Yes.
Yep.
Love, compassion, all of it. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
For sure.
And I think right now it's important to don't forget to look at how far you've come, because man, you've been through some damn hard stuff, and you know what? You need to acknowledge that, and you need to I don't know, pat yourself on the back and say, you know what? The situation came up before, but guess what? I recognized it earlier. I'm seeing this from a different perspective. Give yourself the kudos for that, because it's damn tough right now.
You're right. Thank you for saying that. And Willow's also saying, don't let anyone keep your balloon down. I love you, Willow.
Oh, that's funny, because I have to tell just a quick thing. Willow, it's funny. You're always talking about those balloons. I was going through a box of my grandmother's stuff, and there's a picture I came upon of me, probably about 3 years old, standing on the hood of a Mustang with a balloon in my hand. And that was about a week before that came up the other night. It was too funny.
I love that. I love that. Some more
Didn't know that picture existed. No.
More synchronicities. That's amazing.
Yes. Yes.
That's awesome.
Donut portal. Abundant in donuts. I think Corey's hungry, you guys. Send him some donuts.
Corey, please.
I could see, I say, send him some donuts. And you know what image I got? Was all the galactics throwing donuts down at him from all different angles. Sorry, Corey.
On his face.
I love it. Donut portal.
That's funny.
Oh my gosh. Portals of abundance descending upon. I know. No, it's good. We're bringing the good in, the abundant in.
The delicious donuts, only the chocolate and iced ones.
Yes.
Lots of sugary donuts. God, thanks a lot, Corey. Now I want a donut. God.
Awesome. Bev, what else? Anything else that's sticking out?
That's really about it for now. I'm going to do some more deep diving here the next few days. There's some more things that I want to look at a little more deeply as far as what we've got coming up in March, because we got some more heavy energy, but it's the evolution and it's taking us forward. So I can see it in a positive light a little better than I can some of the things right now. So I'm looking forward to taking that jump and just checking some things out.
Well, you'll be back, right? We'll do this. We're making this a regular thing. I think everyone, we decided.
Yes.
We don't know about did we decide on the frequency yet of how many times we're going to, or what feels good for Bev?
I'll let you guys call it. I'm good.
Yeah. Well,
whatever works for you guys. It's an honor that you're letting me do this.
Letting you. You said yes. Come on now. You let yourself, girl.
Yeah.
So listen, we're in the middle of February. We got the 20th is coming up where the shift is we're gonna start feeling that, right? The 1776 energy and all of that. So basically by the end of February, there should be stuff that's going to be obvious enough to people of which way things are going to go and how it's going to play out. So
that's kind of what I'm going to be looking into and seeing what the beginning of March is like. We can do another show when you guys are ready.
Maybe like the end of February, then before March starts, so we can go in and just have a plan of like, okay, this is what March is going to look like. And
sneak peek of what's kind of the major things that we're going to be looking at for the month.
All right. Well, that sounds good. All right. I already ran all the banners. I'm not going to bore you guys with that again. If you want to find the details for Sherri and Bev's information, you can go to sherribausch.com, or you can go to, for Bev, I put the link for her email in the chat. So it's my souls with an S, songs with an S @gmail.com. If you want to have a map reading, if you want $44 off her reading, her regular price, go to lindalight.com and get yourself a donation ticket for the Symposium, because that's in the special offers, along with freebies from Sherri, free sessions, 20-minute sessions. So all kinds of good stuff. And if you weren't here in the beginning, I played a little intro for this. So if it's okay with you two, I'm going to play it on the way out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That was really nice.
I'm just going to say thank you all for being here and have a great night. And you guys can say your goodbyes.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Off to Lynda once.
Yeah, we'll stay on. Wait, you're hopping off because you got to go.
I have to hop off. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Bev.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. You guys have a great evening.
You too.